Hello guys and welcome to the latest weather forecast. Now we're just going to get right into it with the temperatures. So at midday today, temperatures are looking fairly average. We've got 6 or 7 degrees for most of Ireland and most of England. However, if we go up to the Scotland and North England, there's going to be some colder temperatures. If I just get a reading here, up in the Highlands about 2 degrees, in northern England near like Leeds maybe 3 degrees. If I move this through to 9 o'clock this evening, and we've got widespread cold weather for most of England, Scotland and portions of Ireland. If I take a reading from this, England about 2 degrees, inland could be a bit colder than that, and up in the Highlands 0 degrees is definitely possible. Ireland stay milder, about 5 degrees. If we move through to midday tomorrow, you can see it's going to be a lot colder than today, a couple of degrees for most of England. If I get a reading, about 3 degrees, and that's at midday tomorrow. For places like Sheffield and Leeds and Nottingham and Birmingham. And down south it's going to be a lot warmer. Down at Plymouth and places like that it might be about 10 degrees. If I move through to 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, and we can see widespread cold temperatures once again going from Scotland down into portions of England. Also portions of Ireland will be quite cold. So Ireland 2-3 degrees. Up in the Highlands 0 degrees is possible. And inland near like Leeds 1 degrees. If we go to Wales, it's going to be widespread about 4 degrees. Now if I move this through to Tuesday at midday, it's going to be looking a bit warmer. Then blues about 5-6 degrees, as you can see there. But the Highlands looking relatively cold once again, and most of Scotland. So about 0 degrees. Near Edinburgh 1, Glasgow about 1.9 or 2, Dundee looking a bit warmer, about 2, and Inverness about 2 degrees. If we go over to Ireland, more inland areas, will be about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 degrees. Northern Ireland looking about 5, 6, possibly a 7 in there, so quite mild. And then if we go down to England, widespread 6, 7, 8, 9 degrees. If I move through to the 28th at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have once again widespread for inland and east England, and also for the Highlands going to be looking pretty cold. So look at that, so about -1, maybe -2. Down in Newcastle and Middlesbrough about 0. Down in Leeds 1.5. London be feeling about 4 degrees, and down at Exeter and Plymouth a more warmer sort of milder 7 or 8 degrees. Ireland looking pretty much the same, about 7 or 8 degrees. I'll just move it through on Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the evening. We can see once again from the Highlands down the middle and east of England looking a bit colder. Let's get a reading of that. About 2, maybe 1 degrees. Up in the Highlands, negative temperatures, definitely possible. Now I'm going to move to the temperature anomaly. So this looks at what the temperature normally is and see how many degrees above or below average it is. So if we just wait for it to load. So right now, which is about midday, roughly around average temperatures for most of the country. As we can see, them sort of light blues are just very slightly below average, and that orange bit there, very slightly above average, only by like half a degree there. If I move this through, some colder sort of temperatures in inland England, down south, and for most of Scotland, but down in Cornwall and Dublin and on also Ireland, warmer than average by about 1 to 2 degrees. Let's get this out. So yeah, 1, 2 degrees above average. If I move this through to 6 o'clock, and as we can see, down south it's going to be looking like 4, 5, maybe even 6 degrees above average. Them sort of darker oranges, saying it's going to be quite well above average. If I get a reading, 5, maybe 6 degrees above average. If I move this through, so it's Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Let's move through Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the evening. Once again, not looking like anything that special, just, if anything, very, very slightly colder. If I move through to Wednesday, about midday, once again, quite a similar thing, slightly above average temperatures down in the south and Northern Ireland, and just below average temperatures for many portions of North England and Scotland. And I'll just push this through to Wednesday, about 9 o'clock, looking like widespread sort of 2 to 3 degrees below average, but portions of Cornwall, Wales and East Ireland might get a bit warmer than that. Now we'll actually go a bit further. So this is Thursday, 9 o'clock in the morning. We can see above average temperatures for Ireland, down in Cornwall once again, but then about average to just below for the rest of the country. Thursday about 9 o'clock in the evening, just pushes through. So this is midnight on Thursday. We can see above average temperatures down south, and then the north below. Again, another. Let's go to the wind gust. Got a second to load, but as we can see already by this, some high wind gust over in West Scotland, down south. Let me just stop that. Okay, now these wind gusts, about 50 miles an hour. So if you're in West Scotland, could see some 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Nothing that interesting there at the moment. If we move through, touch. This is tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning. We could see some more gusty winds for the east coast of Ireland, and there is actually a yellow warning of wind for West Ireland and also east, but that'll be later on in the day. So if we get a reading, could possibly get to about 16 coastal areas down in the southwest. If I move this along, not that far, but 3 hours later, the wind gusts mainly over, once again, west, northwest Ireland, once again 50, potentially 60 mph wind gusts with that. If we move it through further, the wind sort of moves its way from down in Ireland, then it moves its way up to northern Scotland and western Scotland, so northwest Scotland. Wouldn't be surprised if some of these sort of islands gust up to about 65, sort of at a max. For the rest of the country's looking pretty tame. Them dark purples that you see are about 30. These lights are anywhere from about 20 to 10 mile an hour wind gusts. Okay, let's go to the composite reflectivity. Let's play this through. Let's get this to loud. Let's give it a sec. But as we can see, there's a band of more heavier rain down in Cornwall. There was actually a yellow warning for rain for the next 4 to 5 days down in Cornwall. So if you go back to midday, we can see some widespread showers down near London in Cornwall, over central England and Scotland, and some over near the east coast of Ireland. If we move it through to about midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning, on Monday we can see this band of sort of moderate rain, and there will be some bursts maybe that come onto shore that might be a bit heavier. Quite late in the night. So that's 3 o'clock. So about 9 o'clock tomorrow we can see widespread heavy rain to the sort of the west side of Ireland. Some heavy rain, moderate rain for Ireland, and once again for southwest England, places like Cornwall. If we move this through, we can see on the 27th, which is Tuesday at midnight, we've got this large area of sort of moderate rain, and this is our snow potential for the next couple of days. I will get to that in about 3 minutes. Now, if we go through to Tuesday morning, we can see just loads of little outbreaks of heavier rain in this system, and lots of moderate elsewhere. Just a lot of rain for obviously most of England's going to be seeing some rain, most of Scotland and portions of southwest Ireland as well. As we go through to Tuesday night, we see that system slowly start to just drift off the coast. Some showers down near Cornwall and in South Ireland as well. Going into about 3 o'clock on Wednesday, this would be some moderate rain sort of near Ireland. Once again, more rain for South Cornwall and the Highlands as well, and I think that will be falling as snow. Now, talking about snow, let's have a look at precipitation type. And so the darker blues like that are going to be the snow, and that snow got obviously the rain is blue, green and yellow. Okay. Now right now we can see some snow is falling in the Highlands. I'm not going to go over the rain, I'm just going to go over the snow. Once again, Highland, some snow on the peaks. We move through into sort of like Tuesday. So as we can see, this is tomorrow about 9 o'clock, and this sort of burst of rain is going to sort of transition into snow, and we can see some outbreaks of snow on the east side of the system, so near Leeds, near Edinburgh, so it's central Scotland, central England. If I just play this through, you can see some definite more heavy snow for Edinburgh. Some little outbreaks, but I don't think this will probably fall as snow. It's just saying it on this model. There we go. If we go back to midnight on Tuesday, we can see some more heavier sort of outbreaks of snow for places like Leeds, so like places like Settle in East Lancashire and central North England. If I move this through just a tad, we can see about midday on Tuesday some very heavy snow to be falling in the Highlands, North Scotland, and also central South Scotland as well. Anything beyond this point gets a bit uncertain. Now, we've talked all about the snow, but how much accumulation would you guys be likely to see? Now, we can see right now some accumulations in the Highlands, or midnight last night, sorry. Got some, a couple pockets of some not very, impactful snow, but probably just a lot of dusting. And then as we move through to, so this is Tuesday about 6 o'clock, and we can see them snow bands, or showers should I say, that have just worked its way in. That'll bring a dusting or a coating of snow to North England and in central England, central North England. Most of Scotland as well will be seeing some snow, and most of Northern Ireland and portions of Ireland as well. Now if I move through, we can see some quite deep snow for the Highlands there. We've got the blues, which are, max sort of like 12 inches. We can see maybe an inch in the sort of white area down in South Scotland and North England. And I think that's all that we have to cover today. But I am just going to touch that there's quite an interesting system that's impacting America at the moment. Give me a sec. Where's MRMS? I just need to go into this. Turn that off. Okay. And then go to precipitation type. We can just see this large system stretching from about New York into Oklahoma and Texas. So the blues are going to be the snow. So blue is the snow. The freezing rain, which is the red, is actually going to be one of the main parts of this system, as it's going to bring widespread power outages. Whenever, you could see an inch of ice on the ground. Now, as this falls, it will go onto power lines, and the power lines will freeze and snap. So we've already seen lots of sort of Texas and Eastwood who've actually had quite a lot of power outages last night and going into early this morning. And we also have a small pocket of severe weather. If we go to the outlook, so we've got a day 1, 5% tornado risk, going from Mobile to Tallahassee, New Orleans to Jacksonville, 2% risk. If we just go to the categorical, We can see there the slight being the yellow, the marginal being the dark green, and the just general thunderstorm risk being the light green there. Now I will go to the snow amount for the next couple of days. We can see in these red sort of shades we can see some major impact. In the more orangey colours, some moderate snow, and in the sort of yellow, some minor impacts. Ice accumulation, which once again that freezing rain, we can see anywhere in that rain is going to be red. Going to be major ice accumulation. Red, even a pocket of pink, purple there, which is extreme. Yes, quite a dangerous situation in Memphis, Atlanta, portions of sort of Kentucky, Pikeville is around there, and snowfall. That one isn't. Now, additionally, we have lots of below average temperatures, and this will mean that any snow that we see in this sort of region won't be able to melt really, so we could see snow, ice lasting for upwards to a week and beyond. Let's see if I can get the temperature. Here we are, just loads of below average temperatures, and this will allow the snow to stay there for upwards to a week. Now, if you did like this forecast, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Thank you for watching this far. Bye bye.